Throne statues seem to be the rage. Now, if you're going to put Batman on a throne, you got to be careful. Now, Batman can certainly be in a Batcave, and I've owned plenty of those. This custom piece right here was truly Batman in the Batcave. This one, he was on a throne. It was when he defeated all the Justice League. This one is from Queen Studios. It's from the Dark Knight Metal comics. Prime One Studios coming out with this one in 1/3 scale, where all the other ones we're looking at are 1/4 scale. So why would I get this one? Why would I even need another one? Well, this one's from a video game that I haven't ever played. Yeah, I probably didn't need this. Hey, my name is Mr. X. Welcome to the Extreme Channel. We are giving away $1,000 statues to you guys. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to review this custom quarter scale Arkham Batman on Throne statue. So as a disclaimer, I have never played the Arkham video games. So I do not know what some of the Easter eggs in here reference, and if I get those wrong and you get really upset, go cry to your mom. She can make you a sandwich. But I do know about statues, and this is an awesome statue. So a little bit of a story behind this. This was actually being produced by a piece of shit person who ran a studio and stole everyone's money, including mine. Then another group picked up the project, and they are not scammers, and they just completed it, and here it is. They're shipping all the pieces right now. He looks fantastic. Now, as a full disclaimer, I don't know if I'm going to keep this statue because I really hadn't planned on it. I mean, this was a 4 or 5 year process when you think of the original group that scammed and the new group that made it. Now that I have it, I do want to keep it because it is absolutely fantastic, even with me not knowing a lot about the origins from the game. So I don't know if this is like the end game when you win. Batman sits on the throne. I don't know if this is part of the storyline. I don't know if it's just conceptual because it is based off some art that I assume is pulled from the game. You can actually check it out right here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rate the concept of this statue. And again, because I don't know the source material very well, I'm probably missing on some really cool Easter eggs. I mean, for example, all that stuff on the back, we have a Joker-type gargoyle over a bird cage and a bird that has antenna in it, so I assume that's something in the video game. Throw that down in the comments below if you know what that is, because that comment could actually win you a statue. As we try to grow this channel, we like to reward you guys for watching and subscribing. So because of that, every 5,000 milestone when it comes to subscribers, we give away a couple $1,000s worth of statues. We've actually given away over 20 statues. To win one was easy. First, you gotta be subscribed to the channel. You'll get bell notifications when videos drop. Each video that drops, you wanna make a comment on those videos. We pick a random video, we give away statues based on a comment. You can say whatever you want. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. All right, back to the concept. And again, I'm not gonna talk about all these Easter eggs on the back, but they are ultimately cool. And we're gonna see them closer during the paint and sculpt. But Batman is sitting on a throne. Now, typically when we have a throne statue, there is definitely some fallen enemies or something of that nature. There's a reference to Joker on the back, but not much. So he is in his full tactical gear here. And what I really like about this throne statue, the throne itself is very cathedral style. You know, you think of Batman on top of cathedrals by gargoyles or on top of buildings, and this ties to that. And again, it probably ties to a lot of stuff in the game I'm missing. But he has his full tactical outfit on. I mean, when he's going to sit there as king, maybe he just got done fighting. Maybe he's ready to fight. Maybe he just likes to wear that shit around the house. I would like that as well. Pretty cool. He's very stoic. He's very, very serious. And maybe that alludes to the fact that he was fighting or is fighting. I don't know if he turned into a bad guy in this video game. I would assume not. Then farther up on the throne, you see all that cathedral style stuff with the bat symbol on it. Looks like a stained glass window, and there are some cool light up features we're going to look at. Some steeples on top. Very cool for a throne statue. Very impressive, very imposing. And then you have all the intricate detail. You have the really cool Easter eggs. And again, I keep seeing Easter eggs. They could be red herrings for all I know. I just found out what a red herring was a few years ago. You can Google it. But anyway, I think the concept is a 5 out of 5. They pulled it just off the cover art. Still, the back stuff wasn't on the cover art, so I think this is absolutely fantastic. Design, I did have some issues with. And I still have some issues, but they are fixable for the most part. Now, assembly was difficult. It wasn't difficult because I didn't know what to do. A lot of times with custom statues, you're not sure what goes where. What I want you to look for during the assembly is getting the Joker gargoyle on so he connects via a peg, but then also you have to get his left hand around the building. You have to get his two talons down here around the bird cage and his tail around the bird cage while putting his wings in all at the same time. So it's very, very difficult. The other big issue you're going to see me struggle with is his cape is a resin. It does have a little bit of movement to it. Now, because of fluctuating temperatures, it didn't sit right on the throne. I had to really, really work at it, and it probably scratches up some of the inside here, which isn't a huge deal, but it is something to note. And then I had two broken pieces. We'll talk about those after you watch the assembly. Two boxes with this guy. And they have the standard black styrofoam and straps you traditionally see with custom statues. Here's the first layer. Now this is one of those multi-layer. So the foam was part of the next layer and the next layer. And if you've opened a lot of custom statues, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's very, very hard to repack. However, everything was packed very well because the breakages happened during assembly, not during unboxing. All right, so the two broken pieces. First, part of his knee broke off down here when I was assembling him. And then the tip of the gargoyle wing broke off up top here. Now with that, a few of the things are still loose, particularly around the head and the cape and everything sitting in the throne. You can't really tell unless you look close, but it is a flaw in my opinion. So some design stuff that's concerning. However, it's pretty elaborate too, and anytime you go more elaborate, I recently responded to a comment on this, anytime you go more elaborate, I give you a little bit more credit because it is much harder to do. Now there are no other display options. What you see is what you get with the exception of the light up feature that plugs in, AC adapter. Here are some better photos of it to kind of give you an idea what it looks like. So very cool option. However, with light up features, I'm like most people, I use it right out of the box and then never again. All right, let me get the dimensions. So as I said, this is quarter scale, meaning 4 times smaller than what it would be in real life. It's approximately 20 inches wide. Kind of hard to tell because the widest part is right in the middle. It's about 18 inches deep or so. And then it is 27.5 inches about. So anyway, design, I think it's really elaborate. It does eventually all work, but has a lot of difficulty, had some flaws. So I think it's a 3 out of 5. It's average despite the fact that they tried to go big. Okay, so here is some video of the paint and sculpt. Now keep in mind, when I do this close-up video, it's on a different camera and it is with some bright spotlights on it. So this is really bringing out the brightness of this very dark statue. And I say dark because of the gray and black that are the primary colors all over it. It does have a sub base down here. I am not a fan of this personally. I don't like museum bases in general, and I don't think this is needed. I think they should have extended from the throne itself. But it is clean. It does look nice. And then as you move up, I really like this stone pattern that they've done, not only on the ground underneath Batman, but even the etching in the walls. And then you'll see it in between some of the stained glass door right there. And then these statues look okay. I don't think they look amazing. Like I said, the concept is kind of awesome, but they do have a little bit of a plastic feel to them, but still pretty cool. And that's mainly these gray statues down here, including the bird in the cage. The cage looks great. I love the copper color they use. It's a little bit different than some of the trim work up here. More dingy, dark. Now these statues up here, statues of the statues, the Joker gargoyle and the other gargoyles here, I think they look great. They have a little bit of red in them that doesn't show up quite well on camera. I love the cracking in the statues, but even just look at the superb sculpt from the portrait, the long claws, the wings, the veins, the bones. These gargoyles look great as well. And then again, just this exquisite finish. All the detail in it is pretty incredible. I like these steeples up top, worn and cracked. And even with the light off, I think that white does a lot to the statue. It brightens it up so it's not too terribly dark. So you don't have to have the light up feature on. Now regarding Batman, I love the flow of his cape despite some of the assembly issues we have. I mean, when you're trying to do a cape on a throne, it's always very difficult. This looks pretty natural. We know his cape is pretty large. Then Batman himself, I love his outfit. There's so much intricacy, whether it's in his utility belt right here. They did a great job on the pouches and the accessories. Just the costume itself, the different layers of padding and armor. Then you have the metallic armor on the boots. A few scuffs, but not too many. And you see the same thing on the gauntlets on his hands and the gloves. The bat symbol looks pretty cool in the pads. And then the portrait, very serious look as we talked about. White eyes, ready to fight. I think they went a little overboard on the 5 o'clock shadow. And his expression's so poignant that it's like, I don't know what he's thinking. And I kind of like that, actually. I didn't at first, but the more I got into it, the more I liked it. So they did an exquisite job on Batman, I think. Portrait could have been done a little bit better. I think it's the pink in his lips, along with that 5 o'clock shadow, that is throwing me off a little bit. But so much intricate detail in the costume. You can see that here. So overall, very nice job on the paint and sculpt. I'm going to give the sculpt a 4 out of 5. I think the only weakness are the small animals that we talked about around here. But I think it's very, very good, especially Batman and the throne itself. Paint, I also have to give them a lot of props. I think the paint's also a 4 out of 5. It's incredibly clean, which is impressive with all the small lines. And I really like how it's not too dark despite using all those dark colors. I think that was pretty methodical for them to do that. All right, so let's talk about value on this piece. Like I said, what's really cool is they tried to do it at cost. Also, for the people who were scammed, if you had proof of deposits to that scammer, even though I paid $1,000, they took another $150 off. But all in all, the retail price on this is $10.99, $1,099, and they made 65 of them. I think that's incredibly good. If you recall the Queen Studios Batman on Throne right here, that's also very elaborate, about the same size, is much more than that with a much higher edition size. Speaking of which, I am going to do a comparison video between that one and this one. It's a good reason to make sure you not only like this video, but you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification. But in the meantime, what's the value on this? I think it's pretty high. I think this is going to be pretty highly sought after. I can usually tell how popular a statue is going to be when I post initial pictures on my social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. The link for those is in the description below. If a lot of people like it, it's generally a desired statue. This one had like 500 likes in 24 hours, so I'm guessing that it will. So I think the value is going to be a 4 out of 5 on this. Much better than average. You could probably make a profit on it if needed, despite a few flaws. Now, does this have the X factor? Is this a 5 out of 5? You know, initially, like I said, I ordered this a long time ago when I was collecting thrones. I needed a Batman on throne. Oh, no, I didn't, because I had a bunch more. But I wanted it. And then I got scammed out of it. Then I was able to, it came back from the dead, and I was able to buy it again. But man, this is cool. I love the back of it. I think if you can find a way to somehow show off the back of it, it is definitely a 4 out of 5 statue. It is really impressive. It's not a total 5 out of 5, but it is pretty awesome in my opinion. That was an abrupt ending, huh? That's what she said. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the people that did this project. I really appreciate it. And please drop a like. I really appreciate you guys. Talk soon. Take care.